Hey, g'day everyone. How are you? Thank you for coming tonight. Yeah, been a really big day. I went into Melbourne today too and was part of the rally in there. The organisers think there's about 500,000. I've heard estimates of between 450 and 500,000. So go Melbourne, that's brilliant. Real good show of support. So yeah, we're still letting people in, so we'll start the meeting properly shortly, but I just wanted to say hi to everyone. Hi, Ross and Penny. Thank you for coming in. We've got apologies from Tim tonight. And Matt's not sure if he'll make it. Michelle isn't sure if she'll make it. Magic sent her apologies. The Magic and Michelle were at the rally today and they're not sure what time they're getting home. And I think Magic had another commitment as well. I'm hoping Dylan will come in tonight. We spoke earlier. He said he's going to try from his phone because his internet's down at the moment. And Craig said he may, but he's pretty busy at the moment, so he's not sure if he's coming tonight too. So we'll see who else joins us as the night goes. G'day, Ken. Nice to see you in there, mate. So
we had a big day, didn't we, Ken, today in Port Macquarie?
I'll get him to unmute.
Yes, it was a good turnout for Port Macquarie. Well done. Hi, Graham. How are you?
Good, mate. Good. We had a huge day in Melbourne today too, so it was really, really big today. We reckon somewhere around 500,000.
Yep. Well, I think we doubled the size of the last crowd we had in Port Macquarie, so to double in a couple of weeks.
That's awesome. They reckon we had about 100,000 in Melbourne last week, and yeah, I was there. I was wearing the t-shirt, so it's. Magic's got those. We're gonna put them up for sale shortly if anybody wants them. So, but yeah, they're trying to. Magic and Michelle were wearing them too, and we were walking around the rally. It's got "Do you trust the government" on the back, and it's got the website underneath both statements. So, yeah. Hi, Pauline. It's good to see you back too, and everybody that's in. I'm sure some more people will join us as we go. So I may as well get the meeting started properly now. So yeah, as I said, big week, lots happening. Last night I was at a Frankston gathering where there were about 300 people, all like-minded people. It was at the, actually I won't mention exactly where it is because I'm not sure if they're marketing it or not at the moment, but it was a great night. I presented the QMS there, and Magic and Michelle ran a table there and we're handing out flyers, and we got a pull-up banner and made it look pretty professional. There was A1 were there. They were promoting themselves, and as were Family First, and I had a good chat with those guys as well. So yeah, it was an interesting night, and we got to meet a lot of people. And after I spoke to the crowd, we got a really big cheer. So we're sort of obviously heading in the right direction with what we're doing. 2 weeks I'll be speaking at the Melbourne rally, or I've spoken to the organisers today, and I've been told I can speak in 2 weeks' time about the QMS. So I'm not sure if it's going to be in Melbourne, or they did mention it could be up in Bendigo this time, but no, have car will travel. So, but it was great to see everyone there today, and a really great atmosphere in the whole place. It was just amazing. So, yeah. So those that are new to the QMS, quick rundown. The QMS is a direct democracy voting application. It is a tool. We're not a political party. We're not interested in politics, other than we know they're corrupt. We know what they've been up to. We don't want to focus on the problem. We want to focus on the solution. So we've created a tool that the people of Australia can use. In fact, people of any country could use it also, but we're starting it here in Australia, and we also have it up and going in New Zealand now too. Although that hasn't had the take up we've got here yet, but we're hoping it will kick on. They've got a smaller demographic, and if those guys could get there first, that'll only help us get there. So yeah, we do want to offer it to the rest of the world. When I say to the world, each country has its own membership base and controls it themselves. We just give it to them so they can use it within the country if that's what they want to do. So the system is designed as a direct democracy tool for the people of Australia to predetermine, design, put forth policy on that they would like to have as the I guess the rules that or policies that we're governed under. as far as we don't believe we need a government, we believe we need a system of governance, and the QMS can take that position. The QMS does not need politicians or leaders. It needs leaders, but that's individual leaders within whatever it is you do. It doesn't need anyone to be in control of the country. We, the people, can run the country with this tool. We don't need their Westminster system anymore. So that's what we have. We've got the people's voice where you can go in and put in your suggestion. Once that reaches certain numbers, and at the moment, because our numbers on the site, it's not the full country yet, so we're running much lower numbers, but once the numbers reach certain levels, we then will put it into the news feed, and where more people will see it. Once it's in the news feed, then once it hits certain numbers, and again, they're reduced at the moment just so we can test the system, it will go to our experts, who will be volunteer experts who've put their hand up within fields such as health, education, finance, economy, etc., aged care, you name it. There's everything the current government's touched has to be redesigned, and we really wholly love the fact that people are starting to take that on and engage and do the redesigning. Obviously, we don't have jurisdiction yet, not a full. Some of the tribal nations are aware of and endorse what we do. We're hoping to get as many as we can on board. We're working closely with People's Treaty, the Northern Alliance, and various other Indigenous nations and tribes to bring forth a new form of jurisdiction for the whole country. Essentially what we know, as I've stated before, and many of you would have heard, nothing has been lawful in this country since it was first settled or invaded, whichever way you look at it. We, the people who live here on stolen land. And it's not fair that stolen land, the way it was taken, it was genocide. So we are, the people have to correct that. And I mean, all of us, all of the Australian people have to put it right. And the only way to do that is by redesigning all of the systems of governance and having a system where we can fairly do it. It means a lot of work by a lot of people. So it's not all of us just pulling one way. It's not one of us pulling one way. It's all of us pulling in the same directions and getting together and unifying to fix our country. Right? We don't care what the politicians do at the moment. We don't have to follow their rules or their mandates or their rubbish. Obviously, I'm not going to recommend anyone goes out and does any harm or injury or damage. Certainly, I don't do that. We don't need to. We can take it out from under them by redesigning all the systems, setting them up and making them work. Last night at the business group that I was at, there are people there that are actually working on redesigning systems here in Victoria, and they've got schools, they've got nurses and hospitals and doctors and all sorts of things that they're wanting to create and build. And that's what we need, people to really get together, unify, talk, and start rebuilding all of the things that this corrupt government has stolen away, corrupted and manipulated from us, and the tools they use to steal from us. So we can redesign them, we can make them right, we can make them efficient. And I mean, if we don't have a government, a Westminster style government, and we run everything through essentially a web-based blockchain application, that's about $2.1 billion a week are the estimates we've been given as to what it costs to run the current system. So we're talking about all levels of government are gone. We would probably be left with local council type thing, but it wouldn't be what we have now. Under People's Treaty and what Dylan Wilson is doing, he is trying to speak to all of he believes, and I think he's about right, there's 369 tribes in Australia. If he can get all of the tribes to accept the People's Treaty and to become nations unto themselves, then the people, all of a sudden, the country can gain its own, I guess, identity and its own jurisdiction using a system like the QMS. So if he brings them all together, we can create the first fully lawful jurisdiction in this country, and there'll be 369 nations in this country, which means we can unhook from the UN. So Ken, I'm actually given Dylan your number as well. He and you will be talking very soon. He's going to give you a call. He's very interested in what you've had to say.
Thank you.
So yeah, we'll get him chatting with you very soon, mate. But he has your number now, and he did ask to speak to you as well. So I was aware you wanted to speak to him too.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So yeah, it's a big job, lots of networking, getting out there, presenting, starting to get a little bit better at the public speaking, I hope. So I'm getting out there and giving it a go. So you'll see a little bit more of me out there. I can't do lives on Facebook yet because I'm still in Facebook jail. I think I've spent about 6 or 7 months of this year in there. So sorry about that. I wish I could be on there a little bit more. But it's funny because you get so much time to do all this other stuff, and instead I'm glued to a mobile phone instead, and meeting with people left, right, and centre. Ed Gilbert is organising a chat for me with some people this week. I will wait to tell more about that later, but I will give you a little hint. It's the police officers that are apparently sick of, the active police officers are sick of the current narrative, apparently want to talk to me, and I'm just hoping that it's not like the normal interviews I've done with them, and that this one might be a different type. So we'll see when I get there. But yeah, we've got to give it a shot. We've got to try everything we can. And yeah, I'm speaking in 2 weeks at the Melbourne rally, so I will get up, and a lot more people are starting to find out about the QMS. We've got a little presentation booth now that we can set up like the politicians do, except, as I say, we actually try to convince them they should drop what they're doing because it is treasonous, and it is potentially, they're acting within an unlawful system, and no one's going to get out of the two-party system by being an independent. That's just a waste of time. They have to give their votes somewhere, and all those independent people in Victoria, they're going to give them to the Libs for sure. Why? It's the same thing either side. It's the same bird. You don't want these people running the country anymore. It's time that the people stood up and did it themselves. So now we've got the platform to do it. It is still undergoing a lot of development as we go. It now has an employment section, and we also put a section where you can report businesses out there who are discriminating. There are links also to other sites in government areas that you can go and make those reports as well. And eventually, when we get the site a little bit better, and things are a little bit easier to use, we'll make it so that it actually automates and sends a letter off to the people that you report. So I think we're moving forward. And your thanks, mate. Yeah, we're moving forward as best we can, and it's certainly not stalling. It seems to be full steam ahead. It's just go at the moment, but we're getting there, and we need people out there talking more about it, getting it out amongst people, sharing our videos and our information, and telling their friends and family about what we're doing. So I would call on everybody. I know a lot of you already do that, so thank you. But yeah, that's probably a really quick synopsis on the week and on the system. And I might let Penny have a word now. If I know she's been busy too, and she's exhausted. Big day today.
Yeah, big day today, everyone. I'm sure you're all feeling a bit the same, a bit weary, but excited at the same time, but it is exhausting, right? And yeah, like massive rallies. Like, it was so exciting. Even here in Port Macquarie, we had over 1,000 people, and that's big for Port Macquarie, right? Because they're so conservative. It's a cliquey town. It's does have the Freemasonry ring around it. So, that's huge. And that's the thing, that is actual thing. So they're very cliquey. With the businesses are all run by those people. So we did well. As far as, I've got a new kitten too. If any of you hadn't seen, I've got a new cat. So, I haven't had any sleep for 2 nights, all know what that's like when you rescue a cat that's got mental issues, you don't sleep for a week. So yeah, excuse me, I'm very weary. So as far as my week, I've been talking to so many people, and I want to share some news with you, but I need to wait. It's got to do with health. It's got to do with education, a lot of meetings sort of happening, but we just need to wait to finalise things because, preliminary sort of telling you things is always dangerous and bad juju, I think. So we'll wait. Also, I did speak with Craig Olroyd, who's obviously, you know, representative of the elders that we've been having in the meetings. And I asked him for some advice because I was wanting to know, and I've realised now, Graham, that I didn't need to know. So this is what I'm talking about. I kept asking for a script as to, you know, what do I say if I want to reach out to my local tribal nation to ask for permission to fall under any kind of certification of protection from the sovereign people? What do I say? How do I approach it? It's in here. It's already here. I didn't need a script. So all it is being respectful and putting it out to the universe, and that they will actually put the people in front of you. And that's exactly what happened to me this week in many ways. And it was exciting. And it was proof that this is what you need to do. You just put it out there and the people will come to you. If they don't, well, meditate a bit harder, maybe. Pray harder. So what happened was I put it out there and I was presented to people. And all Craig said to me, all you need to know, Pen, is you need to reach out and say to them you want to connect with culture and you want to connect with country. And that's all they need to hear from you. And so after that, it all just came to me. A lady was presented to me who is a daughter of an elder of the Biripi Nation, which is the land, the LORE, law of the land I sit on and preside on. And that's what we must do. We need their permission. We can't just go onto, for example, Lumpa's certificate of protection. You must get permission of the law of the land that you are on, of that nation, that tribe. And you need to know how to address the tribe. What's the tribal name? Who is the elder that you speak to? And for me as a woman, I would need to speak to one of the women of the tribe. They're the ones that do all the work, okay? The men just sort of nod and go okay or no, or, you know, and go and do all the other physical things, but it's the woman that makes the decision. So I've been told that's who you approach. So they were presented to me. One lady is involved in an investigation of something that we're working on together regarding child trafficking, and I didn't know she was Indigenous. So she said, I said, do you want to come and do opening of country at the rally today? She was like overwhelmingly happy. She said, I've done it before. My family's done this in Sydney at the Sydney rallies. And I'm like, wow, perfect, you know. Then another lady was presented to me. Oh, also this lady has elders that she can introduce me to in her area, right? To introduce to the QMS, to link with Graham and Craig. And that's what you do. Just put them in touch with Graham and then he will work out, you know, who they need to talk to and he'll explain to them exactly what the process is. Then another lady was presented to me who is of the Biripi Nation, that the land that I'm on. So I asked her to do the same today at the rally. I'm like, I need you to come to the rally. You people need to know who you are. So that's what you need to do. You put them in front of the people. You put them on the pedestal that they deserve because they've been put back here for way too long. You bring them in, respect them, give them the platform. So she was really happy to do that today. She was crying. It was an emotional day. Yeah, it was beautiful. So that's all I needed to do, you know, and I was asking for a script. We don't need a script. So that's what I've been doing. Understanding what I needed to do. So I'm just wondering if anyone else here has also had that happen. Pauline, I know that it's probably happened to you, and Pauline does it too. She has people presented to her all week. She's at every rally, she's out there talking about the QMS, talking to people about this and that and the other. And I guaranteed I knew you were going to send me a message, and she did. I've got this person, Pen, this person, I've got their phone number, I've got this person. Like, she's working hard, you know, and that's what we all need to be doing. So Pauline, would you like to talk? What are you saying to everyone? How are you getting everyone's attention?
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Pauline.
Hi. So all I'm doing is saying, hi, I'm Pauline, you know, I'm part of the QMS. And then they go, oh, QMS. So I explain it to them. And my punchline is, we are the people for the people. It's all about that. And it's about joining the dots, bringing all the communities together. What else? You know, like about the referendum, I talk about the original sovereign tribes. What else? So it's just about everyone. Look, so I've gone to the Reclaim the Line, stand in the park. Today was about awareness and just speaking to them and just saying hello, and then looking at who are the speakers. And then I know that they are the influencers. And so therefore I bring them in. And then I say, oh, can I have your contact number? You know, I can get Graham Turner or Penelope to talk to you about the QMS. And they go, yeah, sure. You know, like, and that's how I've been bringing them in. So, you know, and they're just eager because they're all fed up with the government. So, and they're all fully aware, they're awake. They understand, they're educating themselves about the Constitution, common law, natural law. So we're having conversations, really in-depth conversations. Today was a beautiful one where it was Uncle Max, and we all joined together in a massive circle. We had the smoking ceremony. The beautiful part was not only just about country, it was about different faiths. So we had singing bowls, we had someone recite verses from the Bible. So it was all about communities coming together. And this is where I join the dots for everybody and say, this is what the QMS is about. It's about you coming together. There's a platform where you have your voice. And then that's what I do. Yeah, and that's it. And that's how it all happens. I put it out there. I say, come on, you know, connect me with the right people. And then that's all. I have the best of intention and it works. That's all. I'm not afraid. I enjoy myself. I enjoy connecting with like-minded people. Everyone's so loving, majority of the people just care about one another. And they're all standing up for the children, the future of generations. And then that's the key. That's it.
So they're picking up on your beautiful vibration and your smile. And that's what I'm finding. If you put it out there, the energy that you put out brings people in. Yeah. And it happened to me today at the rally, even though I was tired, you know, just yeah, I don't know. You just got to really put out that beautiful, positive energy. This is the way of the future, guys. This is communication of the future is your frequency. So start using it, get excited. And you know, give it a go because it works. You really put the question out there, the answer comes to you. And this is what's happening with these people are coming to me. Graham's seen it happen this whole year. People are just coming to me. The people we need to grow this. So it absolutely works.
And that's what I do as well. I give the flyers as well. Yeah. And I just say, hop on. We've got Zooms every Saturday night, you know, just hop on and just familiarize yourself with the whole concept. And then they go, yeah, you know, like, and so that's working as well. And, you know, like it just helps people sort of go to a direction. And then that leads them there. And like you said, Penny, a lot of people are drawn to me and they give me a hug out of nowhere. I don't know them. And then now, today, it was all about me giving hugs. So I'll go, can I give you a hug? And that's it. So that's that.
And you're right. Everyone's at the rally for the same reason. So we should be networking asses off in those rallies. I know Graham was today. So
as were Magic and Michelle, I'll give them their due too. Actually, what was amazing was today there was, as I say, supposed to be 500,000 people in Melbourne, and you talk about setting intent. Trying to find Magic and Michelle in 500,000 people would not be an easy task, but I found them in about 5 minutes when we got the Flagstaff. They were next to a tree. I pretty much walked up on them and went, hey, I was looking for you guys. And I was looking, but 5 minutes is pretty quick in that size crowd to find the people you're looking for. And I found Matt pretty quickly after that. I saw Matt today. And we had a hug up at the back of the stage and caught up. And obviously Huggy and I met in person for the first time today, which was lovely too. And spoke to Nick Patterson and quite a few other people. I've got a lot of phone calls to make this week. So I even spoke with Hamish and some of the event organisers there. I'm trying to get on next week as well because I'd really like to get up there now and stand there. I'm still nervous and I still get a little bit tongue tied up there, but it's time. We've got to stand up and make this happen. And the only way I'm going to do that myself is by I guess, having the balls to step forward myself and put myself out there, which as an introvert, that's not something I'm really been ready to do before. And I know I'm sitting here on a Zoom meeting and people probably say, oh, not an introvert, you do these Zooms. This is a lot different than standing in front of a crowd, trust me. But I did enjoy last night, and we're doing it again on Friday at the Frankston place, and there'll be more people there to talk to this time too. And I will be hopefully speaking next Saturday, and if I don't balls that up too much, I'm definitely talking on the 4th anyway, so it should be fun. It's like, yeah, and it is becoming fun now, because as Penny said, the right people are coming at the right time. They're now coming to us and approaching us. I don't think we're going to have a huge amount of people in tonight because everyone's tired after all the rallies, and I know in Melbourne here, a lot of them are still in the city in Spring Street. So I was going to go back with them, but I looked at the time and went, oh, where'd the day go? It was like nearly 5 o'clock, and I've got a 15-year-old to feed, and you know, it's an hour's drive from the city to here. So I did the old rush home, and yeah, here we are. But yeah, there's heaps. It's amazing. And like with Penny working with me, and Magic and Michelle, and Dylan's working really closely with me now. I've put some things through to Dylan to have a look at. Craig, obviously, and it's just like we're all finding our tribe as people coming together, heading in the right direction with all the same thing in mind, but bringing all the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle together that actually just perfectly fit and slot in. And look, even Ken and Chad's worked with me as well and sent me through some paperwork as well. And it's amazing. And Pauline, I've got to have a chat to you this week. I've got your number there, Pauline. I'm so sorry I haven't got to you yet. I've just been absolutely flat out. But we're just trying to round up the people and give them the roles that they need to fill if they're not already filling one or doing it or slotting straight in. So anyone with skills that can add value to what we're doing or feels they can add value in their own way, I don't want to micromanage anything. I just want to have a look at what you're doing and say, great, do it. And let's connect, and I'll support you, you support us. Pretty much how we're doing it. People's treaty.
Sorry, you go.
Yeah. Sorry, I was going to say people. No, you go, Pet. It's okay.
I always do that. I was just going to remind everyone of the documents that Craig Allroyd sort of gave us last week, because I know a lot of you have seen that horrific clip of the school buses going in as Western Australia into the shopping centre, right? That shopping centre needs to be served a notice of liability. So I've sent that to some people in Western Australia, and they still haven't done it. And I'm like, God, if it was the shopping centre here, I would have been walking in there straight away with it, you know, waving it in the air. So use those documents. They're powerful. They are powerful. It's not just like a cease and desist. They're quite powerful. You know, if they do not see themselves as liable, you know, they can be prosecuted. If after they've been served a liability notice, and if someone dies, one of those kids dies, they can be prosecuted. So, you know, use those documents. It takes a little bit of time to fill it in, but he's done all the hard work for us. You know, you can't get any easier than that.
I see the cases of myocarditis going up right across the country at the moment, and for a rare heart disease, that's the amount that we're seeing out there is just crazy. I got sent some information earlier on that. It's just, yeah, we need to get the systems back under our control, the control of the people, and that is every system. So we start with a system of governance, and then we can work on the health and the education and every other system, and bring them all back in, and get them to people who know what they're doing and who want to do it properly and for the people, not for money. None of this is about money. None of us are making money from this. No, in fact, it costs. Penny puts together packages to send out to people and spends an inordinate amount of time where she could be working and earning money, but she's not. You know, Magic's bought these t-shirts to hand out and to sell and that sort of thing, and spent money on the flyers, and you know, and then I've put my own money into it as well. So we're not asking anyone to donate or contribute. We're just buying what needs to be done as we go, and we're seeing what needs to be filled and providing it where we can, if we can. And if we can't, then we talk to other people and we let people know what we need, and eventually someone comes along and is going to fulfill it. It's all about networking, being heart-based and putting it out there. And everything is, it just, the amount of stuff that's fallen into line around this is just unbelievable. It really is. every day I meet someone new. Every day a new piece of value gets added to what we're doing. It's just if it's not creator inspired, then I don't know what it is. And it's like I get proof every single day. And I'm sorry if there's any atheists there. I used to be one myself until last year. So I'm not the average Christian, or I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. But I do appreciate the guidance that we're getting in this, and it's just absolutely amazing. And to see it being brought forth the way that it is, and look, it might feel like we haven't got much time left. I'm trusting in the universe to bring me to where I need to be with who I need to be at the right time, because that's how it seems to work. I'm not scared. I'm not scared of the vax. I'm not scared of COVID. I'm not going to take the vaccine. I'm not scared of someone knocking on my door to force me to take the vax, right? If they try and do that, I will push back as hard as they try to push forward. I know not everyone can do that, but some of us need to do it first to show them it's not happening. So if they knock on my door first, that's what will happen. But by the same token, I'd rather do this peacefully. I'd rather do it the right way. And to do that, we just bring the tribal nations in, we get their endorsement, we accept and respect that we're living on what essentially, it's not actually their land, they're of the land, they're part of this land. So they're not claiming ownership to the land, they're claiming that the land is them and they are the land. And that's exactly what it is. Even there's a tribal elder that we talked to who's actually his DNA matches in with the DNA of Ayers Rock, which is amazing. It's actually very close. I don't know how they measured it, but I've had it explained to me, and it's like, wow, it's just unbelievable. So it's just, this is a beautiful, magical land. There's Penny's cat there, if anyone hasn't met her new cat. So I could, yeah, make a comment, but I'll be a gentleman tonight. So, but yeah, look, it really is an amazing time. And at times, yeah, I know people are scared out there. I know that they're watching the news and they're watching the stuff on Facebook, and all of the fear porn's going around. There's psyops all around us, left, right, and centre. Within what we're doing, as much as external to it, it's not just there are people in our movement spreading disinformation left, right, and centre, and it's just. It's terrible. At the end of the day, we're all being played games with. So we've got to discern. We've got to go with what we understand to be right in ourselves. So I don't plan my days. I just get up every single day and do what needs to be done. Unless, of course, I've got to go and meet with someone or try and earn money, which occasionally I try to do. Not as often as I should. But anyway, that's between me and the bank. So anyway, I'm going to ask whether Ken would like to say something now, because Ken's a natural law expert. I've read not all of Ken's stuff because it's taking me ages to get through it. And as I say, I keep flipping back on it. By the time I go back to it, I've got to reread parts of it again. It's absolutely brilliant, though, what I'm reading, and it makes complete sense in what I've read. But it's taking a long time to get through because there is a wealth of information there, and Ken is very good at in the way that he presents it. So I will eventually get right through it, Ken. I'm just sorry, mate. It's just all the phone calls come in and the messages come in, and I'm constantly just dealing with things at the moment. I just can't stay focused long enough to get fully through it yet, but I'm doing it in little pieces. So anyway, Ken, if you'd like to tell people a little bit about what you're doing in the natural law, and as I say, we're facilitating meetings between Ken and Craig so they can speak to the tribal people and see how well tribal law and natural law align. And yeah, there's a lot going on. Anyway, I'll let Ken speak. Thanks, mate.
Okay, thank you. Yes, well, on that note, I had contact with Craig earlier this week, and also on the call with David, also known as Lunpa. And they spoke to me briefly. I only had a couple of words with Lunpa, but mostly with Craig. But he asked for documentation, which I'd been working on. And he said that they were having a meeting that afternoon. And could I email that information through to him very urgently, which I did. And he promised to get back to me that day. And I said, I don't think you'll be back to me today. And I don't know if he took that the wrong way, but he said, oh, yeah, we'll get back to you. Well, I'm still waiting. And it's for the same reason that you gave, Graham. You can't take that stuff in 5 minutes. You've got to really think and study it.
I feel like I need to come and do a course with you, Ken, and like actually learn it. Could you, like, maybe you could break it down into bite-sized videos and we can put them somewhere on our site so that you can get it out, or you can put it in a natural law group if you like.
Well, I did a video with Ken. I did an interview.
Yeah. I've watched that too. Yeah.
I've done a little bit in that regard towards doing presentations, but I'm not a video expert. But the difficulty is, and it goes back to what you were saying earlier, Graham, about education, because that's a very important part of what we're doing. Because if we're going to bring in a new system, it's a matter of educating people two things. Number one, what's wrong, and number two, putting something in front of them they can seize on and say, yes, I want it. And without those two sides of that education, it's very difficult to make your case. And I'm very conscious of the fact that a lot of people that I speak to, I mean, you get a little way into the conversation, they say, oh, but what about, and what about, and what about this, and what about that? And I'm saying, you know, bear with me until you understand the fullness of what I'm talking about. Then you'll get a better appreciation of the fact that all of those questions that you're asking are not even relevant anymore. Because when you make a new model, you're making a new model, you're not revising the old one. And the problem that people have is they tend, when you confront them with something or give them a different perspective on it, they want to revert back to what they thought was the problem, or what they think might be the solution to the problem, or what their friend said last week, or what somebody at the pub told them, whatever. And that's what sort of comes out of their mouth as being the solution. And they quickly want to get across their point. And you're sort of backing off and saying, no, I'm not going down that road. Bear with me and hear me out. And it's very difficult sometimes to get that information across. So I'm not surprised that Craig and Lunpa haven't got back to me. In fact, I think it's very good news, because the very fact that they haven't means that they're studying what I gave them. And so that's very encouraging. So yes, all good news. Meantime, I'm continuing on building the new model, inverted commas, and that's a long process. But I'm making progress all the way. Take times out and do things like going to the rally today and go to Stand in the Park meeting tomorrow. But otherwise, since I haven't got a boss to refer to and no time clock to stamp, I can occupy myself with doing what I do and doing it well. And the second side of it, of course, is it may not yet be time for that information to be presented. Because until people wake up to the idea that they've got to reappraise the situation from the top down, and open themselves to the idea that we've got to look at something completely new and different, to speak of something new and different when they're not at that place is wasting your time. So in one sense, I've got to sit back and wait and continue doing what I'm doing, lonely as it is at times, but all the while knowing that at some stage in the future, and hopefully not too far down the track, that information is going to become relevant and people will want to seize on it and we can use it. So
I think all information's relevant, mate, and getting it out there is the first step, and you're doing that. That's I mean, what you're doing is basically, it is a really big task, and there's a lot of work gone into it. I can see exactly what you know, how much work's gone into it. I don't know if I could stay focused that long, to be honest, brother. But sorry, Ken, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to say, you know, I love that you're doing this. I love that people are out there actually, like I'm trying to do, giving it a go. And that's all you can do, is create what you believe has to be created and show it to people, and we'll help you do that.
When you go back to where I was 10 years ago when I did that video for my son, that's on my website. I've got a link on there now. Some of you may have seen that. But when I came to that realisation, I knew what sort of a problem I was up against and the people of Australia are up against. And that's long before even COVID showed up, and never mind vaxxers. That was just purely a political stance. But we're governed by a corporation, and the corporation is not what we elected. And therefore we're governed by an unelected bunch of people. We're also running around with a false identification system, which is a dead fictional entity they created with a birth certificate. So there's a lot of problems that need to be resolved and fixed up, because if we're going to speak up as sovereign beings, then we can't be walking around with dead birth certificates. We want to be able to reclaim our sovereignty and reclaim our identity and speak as though we are really Australians.
We don't need to reclaim those, Ken. We've got them. As far as I'm concerned, we haven't relinquished them just because we've been lied to and they've tried to take them away from us. And I think that's a common misconception that's out there. These things are yours. It's just up to you to claim them within yourself.
That's the whole point that I'm trying to make, that until you make that claim and recognise there's a difference, but there's a lot of people wandering around the streets today who have no idea that they're being regarded by the government as fictional dead entities. No idea whatsoever.
Yeah.
As
soon as you show your driver's license, when the police pull you up, that's it. You've contracted, right, Ken?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what you've actually done, if the truth be known, is you've given them false information. Because that's not your identity, that's their identity of you. It's not your identity. Your real identity is your living flesh and blood being that's speaking to them. When you give them that driver's license, you're actually giving them false evidence.
I just worry that I don't like riding in the back of divvy vans. That's also, and you know, when you don't show them your license and you give them a bit of lip back, that's where you usually end up in cuffs in the back. And it's not a very dignified way to travel, I can tell you. In fact, they can be quite brutal while you're in there by throwing it around corners and you've got nothing to hold on to.
Yes.
So
can we have a QMS? Can we have a QMS driver's license, please?
I think once we get our tribal authority sorted, there will be areas we'll be able to do that fairly soon, possibly.
Well, the big question in my mind is that once you've learned to drive and you can show that you're capable of driving, do you need a license at all?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
a license is like a registration. You're giving government the authority.
You need people to be kept accountable, though, to any actions that they cause and do. And I think that's part of why we have registration and licensing as well. So,
well, there's a different way around that, Graham, and that is recording your information so that police have got access to it. For instance, for tracing the theft of a motor vehicle. But recording your information is not registering it. You're not giving it to the government. You're making it accessible for the government. There's a big difference.
Yeah, I don't really like having anyone look at me too closely. So the government or whatever. I know that if I'm breaking the law, they, you know, if I'm actually breaking a law, causing harm and that sort of thing, then yes, I should. But yeah, I like to stay in the private as much as I can and, you know, avoid. So far I have, but with this particular system, but that's something that I think everyone to some degree is entitled to too. But I understand there's more to what you're saying too. It's just yeah. Sorry, mate.
Well, that's the whole point of it. When you get back to the difference between legal and lawful, that's really what it comes down to. And so what we're talking about in making a new model is to get away from the legal thing and get into the lawful side of it, which is where the sovereign tribes are. And then we're all good.
Once I can get look, Ed's working on the police force at the moment and trying to talk to them at different levels and get them more awake and aware of what's going on. That's Ed Gilbert from, I think it's Cops for Freedom. Ed's connecting me with some people this week. So I'll find out more about that when I actually go meet with them. And yeah, as I say, it's cops. So if I don't get arrested, I'm hoping that we can sort of start looking at saying to these guys, hey, you know, you're meant to be administering a law and you don't even know the fictional constitution that's in there. You don't even study that.
No.
You haven't studied tribal law. There's no law that you're actually really lawfully operating under.
No, it's all called statute.
They're not going to like being told that. They want to have their authority, and to have authority, you need to have jurisdiction, and that's what we're essentially saying is they've been operating under a false jurisdiction the entire time. So
my story to them would be, we need guys like you in the new society that we're building. We need people with your expertise.
Absolutely.
All you've got to do is change your focus of where your jurisdiction lies and who your authority is, and you're good to go.
Absolutely. It's just
they're not losing out their job. They're not losing on all the training that they've done. They're not losing on their abilities and their expertise. They're just redirecting it in the right direction.
We're actually looking at ways that we can lawfully do this and fund them so they can maintain their jobs and come in under the new jurisdiction once it's created. So there's still a lot of work working with Dylan to do that. But once People's Treaty is finished and the tribal nations are set, the UN can't touch us. the government can't touch us, and we will have the agreement with as many tribes as we can get on board, where most people in Australia will be able to come in under that tribal jurisdiction and disconnect. Even some of the common law documents that we've been looking at will be able to be rewritten to align with the sovereigns and the people of the land. So what we're looking at, everything comes into it. Everything that actually you've done, what Chad's done, what Mike Holt, all the other common law guys, people say, oh, there's only this way or there's only this way. There's not.
No.
There's a combination of all ways, and it's old way, new way will bring forth the best way if we do it the right way. So that's what we're about. Yeah. And I know you're about that too, mate.
Spot on.
Yeah. Did you have anything else? Sorry, mate, you wanted to add?
No, I pretty much covered the bulk for this week, I think. So happy to let other people talk.
Love your work, mate.
Suffice to say, I'm working on in the background. I'm building up a repertoire of information that I can give to people further down the track as and when more and more information is required. Because once we get some legal minds involved with it and starting to unravel the difference between lawful and legal, then I need to have information that I can put into the minds of those guys so they can work on it.
Yeah.
And you know, that's way over the top of where most people want to go and where their training is. And that doesn't make me the world expert on it. I'm not by any means, and my career was not in legal work.
You don't have to be an expert to create something new.
No, well, my career was mostly in research, and when it comes down to doing research now, and that's what I've been doing, looking into what natural law is and how it relates to human consciousness, because when you get to that point, then you realise how close it is to what we're dealing with the original tribes and the land.
I've got to get you to talk to Brian Schaefer too. I think you're going to enjoy that chat when I hook you guys up as well. So I've got to give Brian a call. So I will link you guys in very soon.
Cool.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, feel free. Thank you.
So Chad's got his hand up. Chad, I was actually going to ask you in next anyway. So if you want to unmute and pop in, mate, please do. Chad, I'll get him to have a bit of a talk about what he does. He's been around, it's common law, isn't it, mate?
No.
Oh, sorry. I thought some of it was common law.
No. Hi, everyone. Happy Saturday. What an amazing day. No, I'm in building management, but I have a lot of experience in dealing with tyranny and arseholes, and keen to make a change. But what I would like to share with everybody today is I went to the Sydney Rally today, and it was amazing. I'm being conservative, but I reckon there was at least 100,000 people. We walked from Hyde Park down Market Street, down to York, round to King Street and back up to Parliament House. And when we were walking up King Street, we could still see people leaving Hyde Park. And as I took video footage down King Street, and I did a bit of a sort of a 180, I wish I did a 360. I know I've been to so many All Black games, right? So I know how many people fill a stadium. There would be close to 200,000 people there. Wow. Now, unfortunately, the PA system was a bit average, but there was Fuck You, Dan Andrews, and there was Stand Down, ScoMo. There was Save Our Kids, Hands Off the Kids, and it was just absolutely inspiring. Just wonderful. And the police, there was a presence. There were definitely the Predator logos, but they were not in tactical gear. There were a few people on horses, but it was just a fantastic experience. And I think we're making a difference. I really do. I think things are starting to change. I know this week we've had some exciting information, Penny, and things are happening, but it was just a pleasure to be part of. So it was a peaceful protest. Really, really happy to be part of that. As far as what in High Ken, we lost we lost the other weekend, but that's all right. Look, you mentioned something about licenses. So I'm interested to learn a bit more, because one of the complications or the dilemmas that I had was, if we remove ourselves from the current tyranny, we still need a license. So for a period of time, we need a car license to be able to drive our car. But your answer, your solution to that, I thought was quite fascinating. So I'm going to give that a bit more thought. I thought that was quite cool. And then, yeah, that was about it. I think we're all getting there. I think we're all in the right paths. It's just going to take some time.
Absolutely. Thanks, Chad. No, look, and some of the things you said then, the police in Melbourne were good as far as I saw today. They've been quite helpful and friendly, and it really does. It was a great environment to be part of today, and to be in the vibes lifted quite a lot within everybody, because, as I say, there was a lot of fear earlier this year and last year, and it's just good to see so many people actually standing up and trying to make a difference now in one way or another. I say get creative, don't be destructive, because destructive it's not what we need. We don't need to. Bad things destroy themselves. They're always the seed of their own ending. So it's like lies will always come out, and it's, if we're doing the right thing and heading in the right direction, and we're doing it from the heart, and we're doing it with love and being altruistic in our approach, then nothing is impossible. And that's what I've come to learn even in the past 12 months since I've been doing this. So we've got a couple of questions in there. So Donna, would you like to, she jumped in just in front of you, and I know you had your hand up before, but I'll let Donna in. And yeah, but sorry, I'll get you to unmute, Donna. Hey,
oh, there we go. new to all this. Hi, I'm Donna from Hayfield. I don't know whether you remember me or not, but we met probably last year when you come down to give us a quote on a garage door. But
I do, Donna. How are you?
we're really well, really well. I was just wondering, we've got a lovely group in Sale here in Gippsland that are getting together once a fortnight. And that is continuing to grow. There was about 100 people, I think, there last session that we had.
Wow. And
it's just creating community and creating new ideas and all the rest of it. Anyway, I printed out the QMS brochures, and I stood up, and I'm a bit like you with public speaking, got up and spoke, but I really I didn't feel like I communicated it well enough. And so I handed out the brochures, and so I was wondering what the chances are, Graham, of you trotting down here to speak in front of our group.
Let's set it up. I'm happy to do that. Obviously,
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, Saturdays are probably not the best for me at this stage with the meeting in the evening, but
yeah,
tease something up for a weekday or a Sunday or something. And
yeah, so we usually meet every fortnight on a Sunday. Okay. So yeah, so I can. I think I've got your mobile number, so I can.
Yeah. Sale's only like 3 or 4 hours down the road. It's not that far away.
Yeah, it's not that far away. You're quite welcome to stay at our joint. We can take you forward driving and do a few fun things as well.
Oh, that'd probably be fun. I'd have my 15-year-old with me if that's okay.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
We'll organise that. So, I'm sorry, I've forgotten your partner's name.
Chris.
Chris, that's right. Chris.
Yep. He's right here. He's right here beside me. His camera's showing.
I'm in the back blocks.
There he is.
Oh, believe it or not, so am I. But no, great to see you guys again. And yeah, I'm be happy to come down. Let's catch up on the phone, and I'll set up a time with you. And yeah, I'm happy to come down and have a chat to them.
That sounds awesome. That sounds really good. And I just want to finish up with we couldn't make it to the protest today, but I agree with Chad. Like, it was just last weekend, it was just so good. It was 120,000 people in Melbourne, and like, I would have loved to have been there today, but yeah, just the vibe from the people is just amazing. So
even the people watching us go past were cheering us on and clapping, and it's not just the people in the rally. It was like there were citizens out there, you know, citizens, people out there.
Yeah.
I shouldn't use the citizen word, sorry. I'm still readjusting my language, which
Aren't
we
we
all are
all?
doing, I know.
I had people texting me and calling me, like Joe, calling me from the middle of the Melbourne protest, trying to talk to me. I couldn't hear a word what she was saying. She just wanted to share the excitement, you know. So it must have been so full of ambience.
Yeah, it would have been awesome. So
So
awesome.
we feed off that, right? It's important to go for that reason. Get that energy, feed on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
The hugs were going around left, right, and centre around Melbourne today. It was a beautiful experience to see everyone surviving and so focused on the one goal, which to see the country unifying like this is amazing. I mean, Australia is going to change the world. We will be the leaders in doing this, right?
Oh, I believe so too. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure of it. So,
thank you.
Thanks, Donna. Hey, give me a call during the week. If I don't answer, I'll ring you back, and it might take me a day or so because I'm really, really busy. But I will get back to you because I would be keen to come down. I'd love to get down that way and have a chat to you guys.
No worries. Sounds good.
Yeah, you can put me in front of whoever you want to put me in front of. I'm fine with that.
Oh, that might be a bit of a challenge there.
For them or me.
Either.
Thanks,
you. Mate.
Cheers. Hi, Vin, come in. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Yeah, great. Thank you.
That's good. This is the first time I've actually attended a meeting live, but I was watching your last video, and I really, really wanted to be in this meeting tonight, just to touch on something that's very personal to me. When I was thinking about your new modelling that you wanted to do, I don't know if someone's already thought about this or not. They quite possibly have, but I've actually got a child with a disability. And, you know, I was talking to someone on Telegram last week, and they were saying, oh, you know, everybody just needs to get on with it and get onto the new system, get away from this corrupt system that we have. And my side of the argument was, well, you've got to look at it from a different perspective. You know, in my situation with a child with a disability, he takes a multitude of medications every day. And so it's not that simple just to switch over. As I said, I don't know if someone's already come up with this, but how I wanted to contribute, if I possibly could, was I've sort of set up a preliminary spreadsheet of what the current scenario is in the system that we have now, and all the different possibilities and all the different areas that need access for people with disabilities. And that goes for the person with the disability as well as carers. Because there are a number of factors involved. You know, you've got to understand diagnosis, you've got to understand ailments, medications, whether the person is aware of any alternative natural remedies. And I think if we understand where we are now with that sort of thing, then we can transition across quite smoothly to a new model. So I'd be happy to get involved in that, because what tends to happen, it's kind of like a little bit of a domino effect. When you have a child with a disability, particularly an intellectual disability, normal people, if I can say it that way, tend to sort of gravitate away from you, whereas, you know, you'll tend to be in groups with other parents that have children with similar disabilities, and so you start talking to each other. And I think I can build a fairly strong network there and gather information, everything right down to equipment and machinery and what kind of government funding they get. Just as an example, my son, well, he's 16, he accesses a vacation care during the school holidays, and that's upwards of $440 a day. So they're the sorts of things that need to be considered so that we can create modelling under a new system. And that's all I wanted to say. So I don't know if, you know, as I said, someone's already done that or...
Look, some have, but that I'm aware of, but we need people like you to actually, this is great. Actually, what you're saying now is what people need to be doing. And what you can do, you're welcome to join one of our groups under the QMS and use that as a platform and get other people that are interested in under there, so you can have your discussion groups and meetings and things like that. And connect with people like Penny and health. You know, Penny and Magic are in the health industry as well, and they're doing bits and pieces around healthcare. We've got people doing little bits and pieces around education, but it's everyone coming together and putting their ideas in together and working together to unify and bring forth the best ideas and work together to develop the modalities for moving forward, be they in health or education or disability care or aged care or whatever it may be. We've got to look at every single system in the way that you're looking at this, and we really need to be really deep and forensic about this, to the point what you're talking about is absolutely spot on, even right down to the budget and things like that, and requirements for equipment, etc. All of that is absolutely necessary. So part of what Pauline, do you mind if I mention you in this, and if you'd like to come in and join it? So Pauline, I believe you've done some project management and things like that before, is it?
Yes.
So we're trying to, Penny also helps in Magic, and Michelle helped with this a bit too, but if we can connect everyone together and start to sort of coordinate and together, you know, work out the various areas for all the different things that need to be changed. And I don't expect everyone to hit every single area, because we're only experts in what we're expert in. So if we stay within our expertises and we work with the other people within those expertises that are all like-minded, which I know Penny and the other girls are working already on some of that sort of stuff together, it slowly comes together. And look, people don't always agree in those things. You don't even have to. It's not about finding agreement in it. It's about work, and the best ideas will come to the top. It's about test and measure everything. Be to a degree scientific about it, but also go with the heart. Like work on, I know Penny is the heart-based, and she goes in there all heart-based all the time, and she puts so much into helping other people. It's unbelievable. But that's what we're all trying to do here, right? And Penny's a leader. She's a natural born leader. So she finds that easy in some regards to gather people along and to get up there and talk. And not everyone, I asked Penny, she says, you got to do lives, you got to do this. And I still don't, like, I don't do the lives because I'm self-conscious and self-aware, and I'm not confident in the way I present and speak. I get told I do a great job of it, but that doesn't make a difference. I look back at the videos, listen to myself, and sometimes I'm happy with it. But that it doesn't matter. Here I am doing it now on a Saturday night, every Saturday night, because A, I need to do what I'm not comfortable in, and B, I got to get this message out. If I don't, who will? So, and I know more about the QMS, I guess, as it's created than anybody does. So I do tend to take a little bit of a lead role in discussing it, explaining it. But this is something I'm building for everyone. It's not, and like I need people like Penny and Magic and Michelle. They bring things to it, and Ross, and we've had that many, and Tim, and all the people that have been involved, right down even to Graham and Karen, who I don't like talking about that much anymore. But all of it counts. So everyone's here for a reason, and I really do feel the universe brings us together for a reason. Sometimes we go our separate ways, sometimes we stay together. But this is about building a new future. And what you're doing is amazing. So please keep doing it. Get in contact with the other guys. And if you want to start your own group or work within one of the groups that's already there, because disability in itself that's something that's slightly aside from health, I would think. But there'd be education aspects to it. And so
yeah, they're all connected.
Yeah, they'll all cross over in areas. So connect with the groups, be part of them, join in, and yeah, that's exactly the sort of work we need. So thank you.
Hey Vin, I've got an idea actually. I used to do a lot of interviews, and I did one with Ken. So how about we do like a little Zoom interview and we record it, and then we put it in. There is a disability group, I think, in the QMS already. So then we put it in there, but we also put it in the discussion group so everyone can see. And just say, this is what I want to do. I'm also talking to some health professionals that are actually putting together a massive project right now. Okay, sort of out of the matrix type situation. But we haven't had a meeting with them yet, so I can't really say anything about it. But I think that sorry?
Pauline, would you like to be across that too? I'd love to get Pauline involved in a lot of those too, from a project management point of view too, to help out wherever possible.
Yeah. So, you know, once we have that meeting, Pauline, I've already said to her I want her to come in. So then we can facilitate another group like what Ben's talking about, right? But I'm sure they've got some ideas, this other group that we're going to talk to about your situation, because it involves health professionals. So, you know, there's going to be lots of different categories in the health category there in the health group. So, you know, it's just starting these discussions, really.
Yeah, and it's just about everyone. And I know Chad does management type work as well. So maybe he and King and having been across different areas, maybe you could pick up some areas and help those guys with some of them, mate. It's about us all connecting. As I say, I don't want to micromanage. I'm just putting ideas forth and networking where possible. So I want people to sort of run with it now and really take this system to the next level by being a system of the people. And that's about you guys getting involved and getting stuck in and building these things. So so many people say to me, what are you going to do about health? What are you going to do about education? And I can only answer with the truth, which is nothing, right? I can't do anything about them. I can only put forth a platform. I'm not an expert in them. So for me to actually promise to do something in which I'm not an expert in would be a lie. It would just be unfair. So I would rather turn around and say the truth, which is I'm not personally going to do anything, but hey, now there's a platform where everyone can unify and coordinate these things and discuss them and bring them forth. And look, if it's something at a certain point, once we can get the jurisdiction that needs to be voted on by the public, we can put it out there through our platform there too, so that the public can actually look at it and say, okay, yes, this is the way we want things to go. And that's not saying that sometimes we won't do a lot of work for no reason, because we might, right? And everyone can. I know Penny, Chad, all of us probably have that fear at some stage that we put a lot of time in and that nothing's ever going to come of it. But don't worry about that, because if it's for the right reasons and you're heading in the right direction, and this is what I always said about the QMS, even if the QMS didn't work, right, it makes people think, and a better system may be brought forth. And you know, I'm not precious about it. I just want to make sure that we stay to the truth and that it stays to its purpose. And that's why I hold the reins the way I do at the moment. But I tell you what, if someone brought a better direct democracy system in front of me that was working and running and I could trust, and that would be, the trust part's the difficulty I'd have unless I really knew the people or got to know the people well. But beyond that, I'd step aside and say, look, do it. Great. And I'd be happy to hand all my resources across, because at the end of the day, I'm not doing this for profit, fame, or money or power. I'm doing this because I love my son, I love my country, and I want to be free. I am free. I've always lived free. And I want to show you guys how you can do it too. And I want to actually secure my freedom in this country and my sovereignty and feel safe and secure and live on the land without fear of, you know, police brutality, and just because I've got a different opinion, or my hair's long, or I've got a beard, or people think I'm wearing the wrong clothes, or whatever it may be, or I'm the wrong color or the wrong shape. You know, what's that got to do with anything? I'm a soul in a meat suit with essentially a mind and a brain. And at the end of the day, nothing else really matters apart from doing what's right. And, you know, the law doesn't matter. I'll happily break the law if it's wrong to do what's right, because that's just how it is. The law is there to protect and serve people. It's not there to tell us how to live or to rule over us or to constantly punish us just for living our lives the way that we feel we want to live them. So I won't comply. I'm not ever going to be compliant in those things. And as I've shown people, I do have a vaccine passport. It's called that, you know, and I didn't do it directly at the camera because I'm not wanting to be rude to any of you, but that's, if someone says, where's your vaccine passport? That's all they get now, right? There it is. Oh, and if they say, do you have one or not? I say, I'm not taking part in your medical apartheid. I don't tell them my status either way. I don't want them to think I'm one of these crazy anti-vaxxers. It's none of their business what I am or aren't. So I say, look, I'm not doing it. There it is. I'm not taking part in your medical apartheid. Whether or not I've got one, I'm not showing you because it's privileged information between my doctor and I. And what, you know, how many teeth have you had pulled out? You know, do you have a colostomy bag? Are they things you go around asking people? You know, you don't. So why would you ask for a bloody vaccination certificate? So seriously, no, I'm not doing it. And the more people that actually stand aside and just say no, the harder it gets. Having today in Melbourne, what I saw was with 450, 500,000 people in the street, the cops were powerless. They couldn't do anything but be nice to us because there's too many of us. We outnumbered them. They turn nasty, even with their guns. They're only going to get a few of us before they'd be overrun if things turn nasty. So numbers count. And when we outnumber them, we have nothing to fear from them. So just always keep that in mind when you're at the rallies. If you're wondering, well, all the cops, don't get nervous about them. They can't do anything. The more people there are, the safer you are. And being in the public is the safest place to be. That's why I do the QMS this way. If I tried to hide it away and bring it forth, A, it'd be pointless because how would anyone know about it and be able to use it and whatnot? But B, I'd actually be at risk. I'd be putting myself in a risky situation. Chad, you got your hand up, mate. Come in.
Yeah, thanks, Graham. Look, just a couple of things, and just taking, a bit of insight what you're talking about as well. But I also wanted to mention a couple other things that happened today, and what I found quite beautiful and profound. With all the people that were here in Sydney, we were multicultural. We were vaxxed and unvaxxed. There were children and there were parents discussing critical information with their children about what was going on. And it almost brought a tear to my eye because it was just something wonderful that we all need to take away from that experience and understand the reasons that we're doing what we're doing right now.
You're talking to a guy that's never struggled with connection with people and struggled to be understood due to his condition.
Well,
to have a tribe now and be part of this is like, I see where you're heading, mate. It's beautiful. It's amazing.
The unification of everyone, and we had a sovereign man. Unfortunately, I was about 100 meters away, and the audio wasn't good. But he was a great speaker. He got the crowd excited before we walked around the block, and it was just wonderful. But yeah, look, this is just advancement of processes and change. We really need to focus on that. Look, we've spoken about this before, Graham, and I think we need some sort of framework for this. So with my industry being in building management, I'm in membership with the Facilities Management Association of Australia. So that's a national organisation. Now we do the maintenance of buildings, right? To sum it up. However, I'm on these volunteer committees where we're lobbying the government for compliance and standards and trying to raise the standard of our industry to a certain level. Not going so well because the government's pretty fucked. Excuse my language. However, the principle there behind that and what we're trying to achieve and regulate it, and I'm also working with Samantha Rees. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's working with David Chandler. So we're trying to get the construction industry up to a standard and a process where throughout the building process, there are hold points and there are inspections and things have to be done to code before the gyprock goes on or before the fire dampers go on. And Ken will know what I'm talking about, but this is going to be a lifelong effort. But what I'm trying to say is the purpose behind this and what we're all trying to achieve with this networking is the same. So if I can help in any way facilitate that, I'm more than happy to.
No, get into some of the groups, mate, and help develop the frameworks within them that they need to bring forth the new structures. Like we need a new law structure, we need a new education. As I keep going over the same things, but that's what we need. So,
so sorry to interrupt, Graham. I'm more than happy to do this because it's just time, right? But where are these other groups? How do I find them? That's probably where I'm lacking.
All right. So on the website itself, under hang on, I'll bring it up. I'll share the screen and bring it up and show everyone. So
it's discussion groups.
Yeah, it's in the discussion groups. Okay, I'll share it anyway, just to show everyone.
Yeah, thanks.
Might be the easiest way. I just got to find.
It is a little bit hard to find your way around sometimes. I prefer to use the app.
The website is okay. Some people struggle, say they struggle with the app too. Like it's individual preference in a lot of ways. So just got to wait for it to load. I'm guessing Jack's back on the Xbox. So he's meant to wait till 9:30, but he's a 15-year-old. Yeah. So that'll load up in just a sec.
He's probably cooking up the popcorn at the same time.
Yeah, he's I got to watch him at the moment.
Hey, while we're waiting, I'm just going to share. My daughter came to the rally with me today for the first time. She's 18, and it was good. She just walked in the door now as I'm talking about it, but it was nice to have her there, and that was interesting. So to
be in the discussion groups, you do have to be a member, so it is under members only, and you go into the discussion groups here. Some of the discussion groups are public and can be accessed by the public, but most of them do have a link on the menu. For instance, the People's Voice is also, People's Voice, so you go into that through how it works. I think I've got the People's Voice on there. I thought I had. Oh, Your Voice polls and voting. So yeah, if you go into the discussion groups there, you can scroll down through and there's a list of the various groups that we've already set up in there. Anybody can go in and use those groups. I'm happy if someone sends a request to one of the admins, we can make you an admin within the group. And basically, yeah, it's looking for people to get in these groups, start the discussions, get other people to join, and build the platforms that we need and the structure that we need moving forward. So that's where you find it. You'll see, I'll just, while we're in here, I may as well show you, we've got a link to People's Treaty as well, which you can go straight to now as well. And under About, we've got, we've doubled up on a couple of things here on purpose. And we've got the news feed, and then we've got the Get Involved. The Report Business Discrimination link is there now. So you can go in there, and that's actually one of our discussion groups, but eventually we'll get letters fired off to people. We've just got to do a few things in the back end to make it a little bit easier for people to do and create a structure and some format around that. But this is
Graham, this has grown quite a bit in the last week.
Yeah, I get busy, mate.
Yeah.
I get inspired. Like I say, I don't.
It's awesome. Thank you.
I don't, and all right, so here's Seeking Employment. So if anyone has a job to advertise or is looking for a job, you can come to Seeking Employment or employee or employees or employment. So we've got a group in there, and that's what I'm saying. You guys can use the groups. You can make your own groups and structure them to be whatever you need it to be. So if I haven't thought of it and it's not there, or somebody else hasn't thought of it and already put it there, create it. It's the site's unlimited. You can do what you want with it. So this is for people seeking work, because we see that's a big thing at the moment. We still get a little bit of truthing in some of these groups, which sort of that we need to work out a better way of managing that. But truthing, we're all awake here at the moment, and anybody who's coming in here is sick of the government, and that's all they need to be. They don't necessarily even have to agree with our position, and we've all got different positions at different levels anyway. We don't all have to agree. So yeah, all that's there. And then under members only, this is something that I think is a bit underutilized as well. We've got links and documents, and I think your documents are actually in here, Chad. I think I put them in there a while ago. So if you scroll down a bit, we've got links to the law sites, the government ones, so the fictional stuff. We've got state government. Now, this is just to help people just in case they want to find something out about the current law or they need to find assistance for breaching one, or legal system, not law. Then we've got legal services like Advocate Me, Rigoli Lawyers, G&B Lawyers. We've got the IBAC report police misuse, and then we've got all the other useful links in there with, you know, all the various people we're advocating and working with.
Great.
Medias, and then we've got other documents. Jackie's given us some there. We've got, if you come down here, we've actually got a table of all of the different documents that are in there, and you can just download directly off that table. So all of the notice of liability that Craig sent through are in there. That Master Assembly one, that's people you can send letters to. Everything's in there, and the list grows all the time because we're constantly adding documents to them as we receive them. So if you scroll down, you can see that's, you know, they're all there. So,
Yeah,
and we're happy
awesome,
to add
Graham.
more.
That's awesome.
So as people send them through, as they come through, I'm happy to continue adding them. So that's the site's really flexible in what we can do with it, and it really is there for you guys to use and do what you need to do with it. So if you've got things that you're happy for me to put up in the documents, send them through, and I'll have a look at them. And if I do like to sort of check through them at the moment, just because I'm not going to put someone's, you know, crazy ramble or, you know, or porn story or something like that in there. I want to make sure it's sort of clean and safe what's going in there. So of course I'm going to read it. But yeah, we'll put that in. Happy to do that for anyone that wants to send them through. And if we think they're useful, we do like to test them where we can too. And not everything can be tested all the time. So some of it, we are having to go on other people's advice, but the people that are giving us that advice are trustworthy. Well, I trust them so far. So yeah, everything, we're doing what we can to sort of make it as flexible and help everyone. But I think a lot of people aren't fully utilising, because it is a big site. There is a lot of information that needs to go into something like this. But please, do, you know, jump in there, have a good look around, try all the links. They're not going to bite you. They're not going to burn out your computer or anything. So check it out. And if you feel you can add, or if we haven't got it there, let one of us know, and I'll get it in there for you.
Hey, Graham, maybe you should do that every Saturday, run through the website quickly like that.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to do that. Remember, this will be up on our news feed, and you can share it around Facebook if you like to, and we can always cut that section out of it to show people. So yeah, and feel free to share any of our stuff that we're putting out. You know, there's nothing, I've got nothing to hide in this. None of us should be scared anymore of anything. Giving them fear is giving them power. So, and I refuse to do that. I'm sorry, but I just can't. Sorry, Pen, you want to say something?
Can we do, I've had a few requests because the rallies are every Saturday at the moment, and even just here, they want to have another rally next week because it went so well. Can we maybe have a Friday night Zoom, and rather than, or even Sunday?
Look, let's put it out on the website and get a bit of an idea from people in general. I think there'd be some merit in that, because yeah, we also sometimes run with other groups as well that are running meetings at the same time, and they may have more recognition or more people already following them. So maybe we do need to sort of look around at that. Sometimes with all the stuff we're running around doing, getting to these meetings on, and Penny will tell you, getting to them sometimes on time for me is a bit of a chore. Getting to anything on time for me is a chore. That's just me. But you know, we do our best to sort of try to stick to you know, the plan and get things. So we didn't actually have an agenda for this week's meeting. We've been creating them recently, but a lot of the time they just get thrown out the window once the meeting starts anyway. And when you wake up every day and go, well, what needs to be done today, and you just know what you've got to do all of a sudden, and you do what has to be done. Creating plans and whatnot around me is that doesn't seem to work.
Hey, Graham, can I ask Ken? You're in WA, right?
No, he's with me.
Sydney, yeah, New South Wales.
No, Port Macquarie.
Sorry, not Sydney,
I'm in Port Macquarie. I used to be in WA, but I moved over to the East Coast about 7 years ago.
You've come to the light side.
Well, perhaps put another way, I'd return to the right side.
Just putting it out there, mid-morning on a Sunday, 10:30, 11. I mean,
Stand in the park.
You'll be getting me out of bed too early, and
We've got stand in the park on Sunday mornings, but like Sunday evening, I think might at the same time. I don't know. What does everyone else think? Or even a Monday night?
I'm happy to do midnights. I'm pretty good at the late night. I'm joking there. Look, let's put it out on the website and see what people think. Run a bit of a poll. We've got the people's voice. Run it through there. Put a poll up. Test it. Let the people decide. So
let's have a referendum.
yeah, just which night shall we run our meeting? We'll run a referendum on that. I don't mind.
It's because all the rallies are
Get it
happening
out
on Saturdays now, right? So
They are. Yeah,
we're
yeah.
racing back. That's why we're a bit quiet tonight.
Because if we did
Yes.
it on the 29th of February, we'd all have time to recover.
There's
4
never a
years.
perfect time for these things. There's always going to be something, and you won't get everyone all the time. We can only sort of put it out there. And look, as I say, these are all recorded. They do go out on the website. So regardless, even when people miss them, they still catch up on them, or they can catch up on them if they wish to. So I've kept it so far to the Saturdays just because that's been a regularity, and I'm good at regular things. So if it's a regular appointment, I'm likely to be there. If it's irregular, I might forget and miss one or two. So, but yeah, happy if we can even talk. We spoke a little while about running 2 meetings. I don't know if people think that's worthwhile. We could do one Saturday and one another day during the week or something. But it is a lot, and Penny and I do a lot of meetings and networking in between. So I don't know. We'll work it out. I just don't want to commit to anything right away because, I'd rather just sort of put it out there and have a bit of a look at it properly and let other people suggest better days as well across the board and see what the general consensus is.
Well, we did do it once, and it was Thursday night.
Yeah.
Everyone agreed on Thursday night, so we'll do it again.
Yeah, cool. All right. We'll run a poll.
Okay.
Now, did anyone else want to ask any questions or have anything they'd like to bring up? Or why is it whenever I ask that question, it's just crickets?
No,
I just want to say, if you've got anyone like a daughter like mine, like she's 18, nearly 19, right? And she's been a little bit like funny about what I'm doing, but then she came to the rally today and she heard me speak. I heard her saying to her boyfriend before, she nearly cried. So, she was proud. So if you've got a child that age, take them to a rally with you that you are part of. It's changed her whole perspective. So, and then I nearly cried when I heard her say that. So, it's powerful.
My boy's scared of getting shot there because of what happened to Matt. And I said, they're only rubber bullets. They don't hurt like the real ones.
Tell him it's calmed down. The Gestapo's gone now.
They're rubber encased metal.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, no, they're not shooting us anymore. And I said that to him. I said, we won't get shot. And I said, stay with me because I run very fast when bullets are being fired. So I'll make sure we get away.
I hope you don't run in a straight line.
I just push everyone out the way and just run straight over them. I'm joking. I wouldn't do that.
But we did see the police today in Sydney were not in tactical gear. However, there were a few people on horseback. I would have seen a dozen horses that had the metal, the protective shield down its nose, and they had that Predator emblem on their uniforms, but they weren't like they were in Melbourne. So everyone was very respectful of that. So it was a good feeling today. It was great.
I think Melbourne's probably copped the worst of it. What's happened here, even Vic Pol here are disgusted in the way they've been both portrayed in the media and the way they've been pushed upon us. And I know they're starting to sort of say, hey, to command, we don't want to do this anymore. We just want to go, these guys are being peaceful. They're doing the right thing. And that, a lot of them are waking up. A lot of them have been jabbed and gotten sick. And they're seeing it as much as we are. In fact, in some cases, probably more. Yeah, and that's what I said before, Graham. Today was about unification. It wasn't about jabbed, unjabbed.
No, it was about saving the kids, freedom,
every day should now be about unification, saving
Correct.
our freedom,
Correct.
and maintaining that.
And our lovely sovereign people as well.
Absolutely. Well, they're part of it. We can't do it without them. And look,
we have to support them as much as we can as well.
It's also they support themselves. So I don't know that we have to support them as such. These are very strong, intelligent people who've been around since the beginning of time as far as the human race is concerned. So all we need to do is just let them be and let them have their own lives and respect them and let them run their things their way and learn their culture too and be part of their culture, because I tell you what, it's actually quite fascinating. They're beautiful people. When you talk to them and you get to know some of them, they're beautiful, heart-based people, very, very spiritual, very, very loving people, and they'd do anything for family and friends. And
I agree, Graham. There was just something I heard the other night, and it was an international cry for assistance. And that's the reason I say that.
Oh, no, and absolutely. And I do believe they're being genocided, because if they're removed at the moment, then nobody's got a sovereign claim over Australia, do they? It would have to go back to the Queen and the corporation and all of that rubbish. And no,
that's not going to happen.
That's why we have to protect them. We work with them and protect them, but we're being genocided too now. So it's international genocide is occurring right across this continent now. So it's,
if we have to drive in a convoy to Northern Territory or down to Victoria, we will.
Why aren't we all?
That was tried, Convoy for Liberation. I thought that was a great idea at the time. They were going to break the border at New South Wales last year when the border was shut. But it ended up the woman who started it did it on her own. And all the people that said they were coming with and we're going to join her along the way, they didn't turn up. So it's about, and look, that happens a lot when you try to start something new and you try to get it running. So, it happens to all of us. The people who succeed are the ones that just keep going regardless. Don't ever expect anyone to follow you on a path. Just do it. And if people follow, then you're obviously on the right path. And if you're doing it with love, as I say, and for the right reasons, and standing in your truth and being truthful across the board, then where can you go wrong? You can't lose.
That's very valid, Graham.
By us.
I mean, sorry, Donna's got her hand up. Sorry. No, did you? Sorry, Pen. I was
just going to say something relevant to that. Sorry, Donna.
That's
very
right.
quick. So by us gaining sovereignty through our local nation, does that give us any weight on that threat?
Sorry, sovereignty.
By us gaining permission for sovereignty, like certificate of protection, does that give us any weight on that threat?
Essentially, yeah. The tribes are, if you go in under the sovereign tribe's protection, then you belong to that tribe. You're a member of that tribe. You're part of it. So
that's what
you then operate under tribal law, which existed here prior to the current law. That doesn't mean they won't beat you up and put you in jails, because they do, right? They've been doing that to the Indigenous communities for 233 years, right? But what it means is you're helping to create a new construct, right? Whereby by operating under that system, right, you're respecting, you're asking for in the proper way to be here. You're respecting the right of the original people who are part of this land. And you're becoming part of their tribe and their family, because tribes are essentially families, right? They're extended families. That's how they sort of work them. It takes a tribe to raise a child, or we used to say a village in European terms. It takes a multitude. It's not like one person can do a good job, but it really does take a multitude of people to raise a child. It's the teachers, it's the carers, it's the grandparents and the parents. So sorry, Donna's got a question. So sorry, Donna, come in and ask your question.
No, that's all right. It's not really a question. It was just a feel-good story that we had the other day. We've had the wonderful census form that we've all had come to our door. And Chris and I decided that we weren't going to fill it out, so we threw it in the heater and used it to light fire. But we had probably maybe 3 or 4 of those arrive on our doorstep, so we just continued to do the same thing. And then we got letters to say that we needed to participate in the survey. and we ignored those letters. We had probably about 8 letters, I reckon, arrive, and we just returned to sender, not interested type thing. And anyway, a census lady come knocking at the door, and she said to us that you need to participate in a survey about the census. And I said, oh, look, I'm really not interested. Thank you very much anyway. And she said, I'm sorry, but you don't have any choice. Well, that was like a red rag to a bull to me. So I said, I am sorry, but I do have choice. I said, I do not have a contract with the Bureau of Statistics, and I'm not going to participate. And she rolled her eyes and walked away. And that's the last that I heard of it.
What's she going to do? Put you in a headlock and call the police? I mean, like, seriously, anyone who does that's going to be.
And that's great, Donna. And the other thing is, generally the letter that you get is made out to the resident.
Yes,
it's not in your name.
No, it had a like a little number or something on there.
Just return to sender, return to sender, return to sender.
Do you know what? My census form's still in the letterbox. The snails ate it, and what remnants of it are still there. And then they put a second one in a plastic bag. Yeah. So I haven't touched either census form because I don't want my fingerprints on them. No, not that they could get them, but I pulled the plastic bag out, but not the census form. I left that in the letterbox, and the snails ate that one too. Yeah. And they haven't come to my door yet. I'm happy for them to do so.
Oh, they were so persistent. I thought, no. As soon as I seen her, I thought, no, I'm gonna have words with you. And yeah, and I just remember what I'd read, and I thought, oh, it actually worked.
I live in an apartment block, and I've come home. Not so long ago, a couple of months ago, and then they're doing it, and there's 2 guys sitting in the hallway waiting for people to come home.
How rude.
Yeah.
If they come back and knock on my door, I'm going to tell them it's in the letterbox. I completed it. Oh, the snails have eaten it, have they? I'm not doing it again. You've already got it. Take that one.
Yeah, so that was my feel-good story anyway.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. It's fun. It's actually fun when you can push back on authority, but be careful. Always do it the right way, because if you come a cropper with them, and I have, yeah, they can turn quite nasty very quickly. So don't be scared of them, but make sure you're sure about your standing is what I'm suggesting before you try to push back. I think Ken would agree with that, wouldn't you, Ken?
I don't use the return to sender one. I use addressee not known, because that tells them that they've sent it to the wrong addressee.
That's even better.
When you put that back in the mail, the post office get it and they say, well, we'll have to return it to the sender because the address is not known. It's not me saying that it needs to go back to the sender. The post office makes that decision.
Yep.
I'm just advising them that the addressee is not recognised.
Well, I just lie to them and tell them, I figure if people are going to lie to me, then it's okay to lie back to them. And the census is a great big lie. I've never gone on one, and I'm not on any enrolment for voting either. Actually, I did go on one when I was 21. My flatmate put me on one, and I ripped him to pieces for putting my name down on that. But he was a bit taken aback, but I never wanted to be part of their system, and I was really annoyed that he'd put me into their system. Yeah, but I've never enrolled to vote, and I won't be voting. And I don't know if he wasn't the brightest of guys. I'm not sure he even knew how to spell my name properly, to be honest. So he probably didn't put me on it.
I had a couple of change of addresses in WA before I came back to the East Coast here. And when I got back here, I started getting letters from the electoral office, and they were all addressed to the resident. So I put addressee not known, sent it back. I must have had 3 or 4 of them. One day I thought, I'll open this and see what it's all about. So I actually opened it, and it effectively said, we've made all sorts of attempts to try and contact you, and we can't. So we presume somebody's come unstuck, so we've taken your name off the electoral roll. I thought, beauty, done.
At our school, when I was in, I think it was around year 10 at Knox Technical School, I will name the school because it's been torn down, it's not there anymore. They taught us how to fill out how to vote form at the time, and they actually taught us how to fill some of those forms out, which was quite interesting because you've got boxes to tick. How hard is it? But they also taught us how to fill out adult forms, so that shows what sort of aspirations they had for our future, and with the education they were giving us. It's some things that teachers do sometimes within the system, and the current system, and I'm hoping now that people are awake enough that and the teachers that come into the new system are going to realise that some of the mistakes that have been made. But yeah, things like that aren't setting people up for the best of life. It's just crazy. Sorry, Pauline, you've had your hand up for a while. Come in.
No, that's okay. Before I ask my question, I did the boo-boo of filling in the statistics of Bureau, because this is before I met the QMS and Wayne Glue. Anyway, I've actually signed up as to co-join with the OSTF and the QMS. So I want to remove myself from the voting system, but I don't know what to do. I know I've asked in the past Graham, and he was going to fill me in on it, but
That's Graham Jeff you're talking about, is it?
Yeah. So I'm asking you guys. So I've actually signed to remove myself, but I don't know what step to take.
I'm not quite sure what the right answer is beyond sending him an I'd probably email them every single day until they removed you from it. And I'd probably also, although that could be, it might be considered harassment, so I'm not sure. Maybe it'd be a good idea. What I'll do is I will seek some advice on that for you, Pauline. I'll see what I can find out.
Ask Hagi.
I will ask Hagi. Ken might have an idea about the best way to approach that too. Or Chad may even have something, I'm not sure, but I'll ask Tim and Hagi, and I'll ask around for you, Pauline, see what I can find, because
because I think that would answer everyone else's question if they had the same, especially if they decided to remove themselves like I've decided, especially those in QMS.
Pauline, I was just making some notes. So what are you trying to remove yourself from?
Well, there was a form that was sent, Graham, the
Graham
form
Patrick
Graham
Patrick Jeffs used a co-join form, and that's look, co-join is when two people join one thing. It's not joining two things through one method necessarily. And it's also joining two things together, is my understanding of the proper terminology. So what he was talking about was using the word co-join to. He used to say co-join the QMS, which I used to sit back and think, what are you co-joining? You're either joining or you're not joining. Look, Graham's database mining, and I can say that, I can tell you exactly publicly about Graham Jeffs. He has been database mining here for a very, very long time. I don't trust the man at all. I actually know a lot more than I will say here.
So do I, but
yeah, Penny knows too. I've told Penny about what I've found out. But yeah, look, he's in database mining. He's gathering dissenters. This has been going on for a long time with him, and for different reasons to what we have now. So no, what Graham did was very wrong. He came in and tried to monetize the system. They offered me money. They were trying to pay me out. To get me out of the system and things like that. And I could just see that for them, they wanted membership to pay $10 a month. One of them, they wanted $1 per transaction when people use the website. They were going to charge people. There was all sorts of things that were put forth, and he wanted to sell it to a council. I said, why would you sell it to the enemy? So the first 3 months that I worked with Graham Jeffs, and we went to all these meetings with all these so-called millionaires that were going to altruistically give us the money to build the system or pay for its building. That was about discrediting it. It was about putting it in a position. So when they left, and I caught them, and look, I did catch them trying to eject me from the QMS and take it over. And there was a specific slant, which I can't mention at the moment due to legal issues, that they were going to play on it at the time. But to cut a long story short, they came very close to doing it. And had they done it, I actually think that this system would now, they'd still be running these meetings. You guys would be none the wiser. You'd just think I was how I was presented, and you would probably have it would be controlled. So you'd think you were running a direct democracy, and you would actually be being manipulated and controlled. And anyway, they ran off, and to continue trying to discredit what we're doing, because he is a spy. I'll just say that part. He is a spy. And he does work for the UN. I'll put that there too, okay? I know this is going public. I don't care. right? If he wants to face his accuser, like he said, he can always do it. I'm not scared of the man. I'm happy to stand in front of him and have this discussion with him. And if he is innocent, the evidence certainly does not show that.
Where does he live? Where does he live, Graham?
Sorry?
Where does he live?
I'm not going to say that publicly.
What
He
state?
did that to Penny, and I'm not going to lower myself to that level.
Oh, no, I was just going to say what state.
He's in Victoria.
Oh.
So, look, at the end of the day, what happened there, that's a bit behind us now. We've moved on a long way. It was actually the best thing that could happen, because within the week that they were gone, everything fell into place, didn't it, Pen? I mean, like, just bang, 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 one after the other. We had the rights for the Australia-New Zealand app. If that had to come any earlier, they could have got the whole thing. And yeah, it was a very close shave. It upset me a lot at the time. It was a very hard thing for me to go through. It was hard for me to believe, because I looked up to Graham in a large way. And the other person that was involved at the time, I thought we had a relationship at the time, and I was a bit heartbroken by what occurred. So I've had to be very careful on where I go with that, but I do stand in my truth with it all, and I am happy to talk privately and explain to anyone that really wants to know. But it's past history now, and it doesn't really matter. It's just part of the overall story. But yeah, we've got a lot of infiltration in our movement. It's across the board, and I've become very aware of that. There's a lot. We have ex-police officers work with us, right? So they're in the background bringing information to us. We've got, I've mentioned Ed Gilbert, these people look at the strategies that are being used and discuss them with me and things like that. I've got ex-military guys, ex-SAS guys that I talk to. I've got the politicians that also have their own takes on things as well. So I have to walk a little bit of a careful walk when I speak in these things. But look, what I'm telling you, I think you all know me enough by now to know that I'm not going to sit here and lie, because I know these things go public, and I know that I know the damage that lies can cause. I have no issue with lying to a liar or stealing from a thief. As far as I'm concerned, they're different things, right? But you don't lie to people who are doing the right thing, and you don't manipulate and control people. And there's a lot of people doing that out there, and we've got to recognise them, step aside and point them out. We had a guy today come into the rally, and he was trying to stir up trouble right up at the platform where the speakers were, and security had to remove him. He had a bottle of gin in his back pocket, and he smelled a bit boozy, and obviously had a few under the belt and was feeling a bit brave, but he thinks we're all nuts, and he wanted to confront nearly 500,000 people and tell us we're all nuts. I mean, I can't think of an any more stupid approach to standing in your truth. If that's his truth, that's fine. Go stand in it, but go stand in it elsewhere, buddy. Because things like that, obviously, you're putting yourself in a pretty dangerous situation. And there are angry people at these places, because we're all angry about what's been done to us. But it only takes one person to react the wrong way and actually get violent with a person like that in the crowd, and all of a sudden the whole protest looks like it's violent, and that's the way the media is going to paint it, as a violent protest. So it's actually important for us at the moment that if we see these people come in and start causing trouble, that we point them out, and that we actually get the police to take them away, because we don't want that sort of. Most of us are in, we're families, we're family people, we've got kids that we need to look after, or we're grandparents, parents or grandparents, or, there's not, I don't know that there's a lot of, well, I guess there probably is young people from the 20 to 30 age group from the demographics. I know that's true. So there probably is a lot of young single people and things like that who don't have kids in our movement, but most of us, I would suggest, because when I know that the demographics between 40 and 65 primarily, and it's about 74%, I think it's 74, 75% women in the movement and 25% men, which is why I keep telling you, Chad, save yourself, lad. One day your semen is going to be worth a fortune. And sorry, but it's... the unvaxxed at the moment are in the minority, but I still think we're somewhere between 20 to 40% of the population. And I do think a lot of the vaxxed are starting to wake up now that they've been through the situation, and our numbers are growing. We can see that at Melbourne. But we will get people in there trying to start trouble. And the trick is, don't let them. Don't be part of it. Don't join in. Just see what's happening. recognize it for what it is. Be ready to protect people if that's what you got to do. But
yeah, look, today there was met some beautiful people. There were a couple of hot heads, and it was just like, listen here, bleep, pull your friggin' head in. We're here for the same reason. And they calmed down and they understood. But yeah, there was that. And look, I think from what I understand, and agree or disagree, but let me know your thoughts. There's a herd mentality of about 25%. And then there's about a 10 to 15% discrepancy, if you like, that are sitting on the fence and could be swayed either way. That could be work, friends, family, or another reason. We are no more than about 35% back. So you have to understand that the mainstream media are going to be pulled apart after all this comes down.
oh, absolutely,
They are responsible for tyranny themselves.
Oh, they said last week
Carl
that there was only a
Stefanovic,
couple of hundred at the protest on ABC, mate. So you're right, yeah.
Yeah. So we just need to understand this, be positive. Don't listen to the fucking news. Come on these support networks. You know, I know we didn't have one this week, Penny, but that's all right. I wanted to be involved tonight. And I had a great experience today. So as did we all. And it's just important. This is why we're here. And it's great to see everyone. We will grow. I know everyone's got busy lives, but just to take your time out every now and then is so worthwhile. It supports us, it supports you. It's a good thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, everyone's got to look out for themselves in whatever way they need to and as best possible. But at the same time, yeah, we want to help each other too. And that's important at the moment too. We've got to be there for the people that need it in whatever way we can be. We may not have the money, so maybe we have some time we can give them. We may not have, time that we can give them. Maybe we've got some old clothes that they might need, or some, some other way to help them. Maybe we can cook some food for them. One of Penny's friends, she's lovely. She's brought me around meals and things like that, and just to help me out when she's known I've been a little bit short. So it's just, we all do what we can and help where we can, and that's the way we've got to be. If we all do that and present the best version of ourselves as much as we can every day and consider others and get out there and build whatever it is you feel you need to build. That's how we change this world. Put all anger, don't focus anger on destruction. Anger can be used for creation as much as it can be used to destroy. And that's the message we need to get out to. Some of the most beautiful things I've ever created or built have been when I've been absolutely furious, really angry. So that's what I'd recommend. If you're feeling angry, find a way to turn it to creating something, whether you sit down and draw a picture or write a poem or a song or whatever it is, a sculpture, or look, if you have to go and, I don't know, if you really want to get rough or something like that, get some clay and go and beat it into a shape. You can actually hit the clay as well. So
I've done all that.
But yeah, it's about utilizing your emotions for their best outcome, and anger for destruction is only going to end in a situation where people get arrested or get harmed.
Yeah, but look at all those people. Look at all those people you guys have seen today. They're all your helpers now, and it's growing every weekend. They're all your helpers. They're your community. So
Absolutely.
connect with everyone while you're there at the rallies. Get as many phone numbers as you can.
It is. It's all about community. Everything's about community. So
and
we don't.
You know what? Can I just say, if anyone in Sydney is struggling, you're welcome anytime to come over, and I will feed you.
You and Ross is in Sydney. You two should get together for a drink, or just a sandwich. Get together.
Maybe a glass of water, maybe.
Coffee.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure how Ross will feel about that. Hey, Ken's got his hand up, I think. Did you want to say something there, Ken? Or I can't see properly because the background hides the hand.
Yes, yeah, it's the same colour as the background. Yes, all I was going to say is thank you very much. Time I went and got some shut eye, otherwise I'll never get to stand in the park tomorrow.
No, that's okay. We're getting on towards the end of the meeting anyway, so we might wind it up in a minute anyway, because I know Penny and I are both tired, and I know a few of you guys were probably tired too from coming to the rally. Again, thanks. It was a bit of a smaller group tonight. We didn't have all our presenters either, but look, hey guys, thank you for coming in. The word still gets out there. What we say is still important. What you guys say is still important, and it's about giving the people back their voice. So, you know, I don't even mind if the numbers down. You know, if I had to, I'd sit here on my own and speak and put that out there, which might be, you know, seem a bit silly, but at least something's going out, something's new's being created every day, and that's what we need to do. We just got to keep creating, keep moving towards that goal of love and unity and connection, and that's what we're all about. And freedom of choice and ability to self-discern, and you know, there's just so much in here, and that's what true sovereignty is really about, is having the strength, the gumption, the ability to self-determine for yourself and to live within your own framework of rules, and you know, do no harm, don't take what's not yours, and you know, respect everyone and treat everyone, I guess, as you want to be treated yourself. But I'd say treat them better. And you might find yourself being treated better than you've ever expected to be treated, because a lot of people carry a very low self-esteem and don't actually realize how well they should be treated. And I'm including myself in that for a big part of my life. So many of us sit back our entire lives thinking we're not worth it, we can't do it, we can't. And honestly, you don't know until you give it a go. And if you fail, as I say to my son, we don't fail, we learn, and we get up and try again. And each time we try, we learn a bit better. And then one day we can do it.
You win or you learn.
Yeah.
Love you all indeed.
And you are
lovely
you.
seeing you, mate. Love your work.
Right,
My
Ken.
little expression is you are you, and that is your power.
Absolutely. And stand in it, be you, do what you're best at, which is be you. You know, you'll have expertise in areas that are yours, and that's what we want. That's exactly what we want you to do, is bring them forth, help us build a new system of for and by the people, by being one of the people that builds it. So we'll get there. We'll make this work. And it's just, even these are education sessions in a way, because we're putting forth an ethos in a way. I'm explaining how I've got to this stage, and I see all the heads nodding around there. So there's other achievers that have achieved things within. And look, even if tomorrow the QMS was gone and didn't, you know, fell in a heap, I still got this far, and it's a lot further than some people ever get. So, but that's because it's all self-limiting. Step outside those cages we create within our mind, and honestly, have a shot. You can't lose anything by failing. Honestly, I've failed that many times in life, and I'm still here. My son still loves me. My parents, who, okay, we don't talk much at the moment. We did actually talk recently around my son coming to live with me. And I think even they're starting to wake up now, and they respect the position I've taken, because they taught me to be me in many regards. So they gave me the very basis for where I am now, and you know, the creators brought me the rest of the way. So I'm lucky, but I don't give up. And I think that's what, you know, being lucky is because I don't give up. If I lay in a heap and I cry, what do I achieve? If I'm scared, what do I achieve? Right? I'd rather just be bold and take a shot. And if I'm going out, I'm
stand up again.
Mate, when I go to my grave, it will be sideways screaming, yeehaw, right? What a great life, right? And it doesn't matter what age that is. That's how I would like to do it. I'm not going to go quietly. I don't even, who wants to die of old age, frail and infirm? You know, I don't really want to do that. I'd like to live to an old age, but I want to live. Right? If I'm on an iron lung or I need millions of medications to go, you know, is that living? So I guess as long as the brain functions, I'm alive. But you know, if that's all that's functioning, shut the machines down, please. Anyway,
Graham, thanks for everybody's time tonight. Love you. Long time.
No, cheers, brother. Love your work there too.
It's been a wonderful day, and we actually need to touch base about a couple other things, Graham. So we'll do that during the week at a time.
Yeah, do. Give me a buzz during the week, and yeah, we'll catch up. Leave me a voicemail if you can't get on, mate. If I don't answer, leave me a voicemail.
All good, all good. Happy Saturday. Love your work.
Cheers, brother. You too. See you, mate. And thank you, Penny. I think Ross is gone. Thank you, Ross. He's already left. And thank you, everyone. I mean, we'll catch up this week too, Donna and Pauline. I'll definitely try and give you a call this week. Have you got my number, Pauline? Oh, good. You're welcome to give me a call too. So if I don't get to, again, I'm slow in getting through everything at the moment because I've just got that much I'm getting through, but I'm starting to have a lot more fun doing it. So we're getting there.
I'll send you a text, and that way you can call me when you're ready.
Yeah, that's perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
All
Good
right.
night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yay.
Thank you, guys. And if you want a T-shirt, let us know. And yeah, I'll have a chat to Magic about. I'm offering to pay her for my shirt, and she doesn't want to make money from them, but I think they cost around $30, $40, something like that each to have produced. She paid a lot for them, and I'd like to help her sort of move them out. So if anybody wants one, just let me know. We'll work out a way that we can get you one. And if you don't mind, sort of just I'll get you to deal direct with Magic with it. But if you'd like one, Pauline, I'll get Magic on.
Yeah, because I'll wear them to the rallies and gatherings.
Okay, cool. Yeah. It's just Magic's not working, and she's put a lot into the QMS financially lately, which I'm aware of, and I love and appreciate. And she's done it of her own will, which is wonderful. But you know, like for me to do it's one thing. Magic's doing it because she's a beautiful person and because she's trying to help push it, and she's passionate about the QMS, which I love. But yeah, if I don't expect her to just give them away, you know, she should at least.
I think I know a cheaper place you could get them made, but I'll have a look.
Yeah, cool. My dad actually used to print T-shirts, and I'm actually gonna give him a call this week.
Yeah, do that. Yeah, good idea.
See if he can do that for us. Yeah, it's going to involve me more with my family than I was expecting. But anyway,
that's good. Maybe he might. What about the message? Is he going to print the message?
My dad's actually a lovely guy. He and I don't see eye to eye on a few areas, but he did teach me to be who I am. So yeah, he won't appreciate. Oh, actually, he hates Dan Andrews. When I speak to Mum and Dad, they say, "Oh, bloody Dan," you know, we hate Dan. He's never getting back. But they've always been Liberal supporters anyway. And as I say, my dad tells me this is a socialist system and it'll never work. And I said to him, "No, Dad, it's direct democracy," and tried to explain it to him. But he thinks I'm a communist for some reason, because I think all people should have what they need and be treated equally. And I don't think that means that I don't agree with democracy. It just means I think all people should be treated equally and have freedom and choice. And I don't like government, I don't like structure, and I don't like authority. I mean, who apart from my parents as a child, really, nobody has authority over me, and I'm not going to give it to them. So they try to take it, but I'm not giving it. So, and there's a difference. Something taken and something given are very, very different. All right, guys, I'm off. I love you, and I will speak to you all soon. And thank you. And yeah.
Ciao.
Again, thank you.
Bonne nuit. Good night.
Good night.
Bye. See you next week.
See you.
Bye.
Yeah.